cooked online for being pro-trans. Yeah. This man's BMI. This is me this morning working out, looking yacked, okay? Looking yacked as a motherfucker. My BMI is literally, he did the thing. He did do that. My BMI says I'm almost obese. I'm near obese. Yo, how do I look like that? Keep working out. A little bit of gyno, true. Actually, my tits are popping nowadays. I don't even care about that. Why is your adult definition so insane? Is it? What's the weight goal? 215, probably. I mean, at 215, I'll be peeled. Are you pumped in this photo? I mean, this is probably towards the end of my workout. But I'm not like flexing or anything. Narcissistic arc of HasanAbi streams are really off-putting. Will Neff is my league of his own. Brother, your username is dedicated to Will Neff, my best friend, who literally loves himself even more than I do. Have you watched a Will Neff stream? Like, that's crazy. You just said I'm being narcissistic and off-putting. Will Neff has never had a moment where his shirt is not off. Okay? Like, you're like, no, it's fine. It's fine when he does it. I just don't like it when you do it. Yeah, but Will is endearing. Exactly. It's endearing when he does it. Hello, human resources, when Hasan does it. Anyway. Are you watching the Moist video? Yes.
What a week, huh, sports fans? Holy Toledo. Yeah, so MoistCr1TiKaL's in a big oopsie-poopsie situation here. It reminds me of the time in Moonfall when KC Houseman sacrifices himself and dies of cringe to become the moon. Yeah, so, being serious now, since this has become such a big issue, I've been in a lot of drama recently. I'm in hot water, and I'm biting on the fart bubbles that pop up in the bathtub here. It is a lot. So let's start with the most recent one today. My retirement. I didn't know I was retiring. That's news to me. I'm as shocked as all of you are. I had a ton of fun last night playing a game called Clickleding, which is basically like a cuckoldry simulator, but for clicking against like the Lorax in a hotel room. And I just did like an old school gameplay commentary video. I was bubbly, full of jubilation. I posted it today only to learn that I'm just a big old fucking liar. Liar, liar, plants for hire, I suppose.
Dude, it's crazy. Bro, this is literally happened to me. Remember when I fucking was in my own Discord, like responding to chatters, and some chatters were saying dumb shit, and I was like, I'm gonna kill myself. Responded to a chatter. And then that shit was literally posted out of context. And I'm having the fucking time of my life in Australia with my friends and shit. And then I start getting fucking calls from normies who saw tweets being like, oh, Hasan is killing himself. He's like really fucking sad. And because I don't have Twitter on my phone, I have no idea that this is what's popping. way to make someone else's drama about you again. I'm a political commentator, or a commentator in general online, and so is he. It's not me making the drama about myself. It's just me saying, like, this is a very commonplace thing that happens on Twitter. So it's not that surprising that it happened to Charlie, but it is surprising that this is like a thing that happens so frequently. It's called sharing an experience with a person who you are relating to, while also simultaneously doing commentary over it. I hope you understand that, chatter. You know? Yeah, wow, an accurate parallel. How narcissistic. It's very weird. People are so fucking negative. You just watch YouTube and explain why genocide is bad. I will never understand the hate. No, that's the reason why. Because people are like, no, genocide is good. That's what it is. But anyway, the real reason why I mentioned this from my own personal experience and how this has happened to me as well is not to be like, look at me. This is about me or whatever. But the real reason is like, how is this a thing? Like, how have we gotten to a point online where we're just like, I don't even give a fuck what the reality is. I just care about like what people who are aligned with me are saying about the reality. Nobody fucking investigates it. Nobody looks into it at all. And we just kind of see it. I mean, I kind of did it too. I was like, oh, it seems like he's taking a step back from the podcast or something. But I wasn't even fully talking about him retiring. I was actually talking about him getting canceled by people earlier in the day. That was real. Right-wingers were fucking actually trying to cancel him for his normal statements about like trans medical care. But like, it is a fascinating situation where people can just like make stuff up about you. And if you don't immediately address it, they're like, nope, it happened. And sometimes, depending on whether they hate you or not, okay, depending on whether they hate you or not, it literally turns into like, I don't even believe you. Because there was hella people that were like, I don't believe you, dog. You wanted to kill yourself. You had a gun in your mouth.
Apparently, and I didn't know this until I posted the video, everyone was under the impression that I was quitting the internet. So I started scratching at the hair on my chinny chin, wondering, when the fuck did that happen? Was I sleepwalking? Do I have somnambulism? Is this some kind of like, Fight Club situation? But instead of like Tyler Durden, I have fucking Charles Turden here that's just making wrong announcements. It turns out the patient zero behind all of this was a post Jackson made announcing that I would be leaving the podcasts, which is something I thought about periodically for quite a few months now, mainly because I started to recognize that I was becoming the very thing I'd make fun of with being chronically online. Like, I just was always online, and the podcasts were a big proponent of that, and I just kind of wanted to scale back the amount of time I spend online, and I kept Jackson in the loop the whole time here about where my head was at, and last week I told him, hey man, I think this is going to be where I hang up the jersey. You can put it in the rafters, throw it in the dumpster, but I think I'm just going to be, sailing off into the sunset here and just reducing the amount of stuff I do online. Which he completely understood, so he made the announcement just letting people know that, and then that got spun on Twitter and Reddit as MoistCr1TiKaL's taking an indefinite hiatus and quitting the internet, fundamentally. Don't know when I'll be back. He's done with the internet because of all this controversy. Patooey on his grave. He's gone. When looking at the post, I don't even know where that's coming from. It's literally just talking about the podcast and me just stepping away. Like, it doesn't extend beyond that. I can't even wrap my tiny noodle around how anyone could perceive this as me being done with.
Isn't his podcast with a reaction to a Turkish dude living in Germany calling you a pedophile one time? I don't know. I don't even know how to access MoistCr1TiKaL's podcast. I do know that one of his homies that he has on his podcast, I think. I don't know if he's like he's on it all the time or not, but he fucking hates me, the Turkish dude. He fucking hates me. His name is Kaya. Yeah. Like, he's weird as fuck. I like Charlie. I think he's a nice person. You know, we don't always agree on stuff. Sometimes I feel like he just leans in a little bit too much to the centrist stuff. But overall, yeah, one of his homies fucking hates me, which is weird because he's Turkish. Kai has also said a lot of pedo and incel shit in the past week. Wait, you mean to tell me another guy who just fucking hates me and has called me a pedophile has said pedophilic things? What? I mean, God.
Yeah. She just died? Wow. I didn't know that. I just, you're telling me now for the first time. She led an amazing life. What else can you say? She was an amazing woman. Whether you agreed or not, she was an amazing woman who led an amazing life. I'm actually sad to hear that. I am sad to hear that. Thank you very much.
My favorite clip of all time.
Ballerina, you must have seen her dancing in the sand.
Anyway, but that's neither here nor there. But it's not even like that. What you just told me about this dude, who I've never seen, who I have no idea what he looks like. I think we might have watched a video many years ago, because I just only kind of remember that like some dude that Moist was on a podcast with was just like fucking saying unhinged shit about me. But you're telling me he said some fucking weird shit?
Because then it would look like I'm just trying to kick the ass of someone who's like trying to do something good by like exposing the system for sex.
What is this? I'm not gonna watch this 4 minutes. Okay. He says it's not weird to ask an 8-year-old for upskirt photos, unbased and pedo pilled. That's a yikes for me. Okay, I don't even fucking care. I'm not gonna look at this clip. I don't give a shit. It's 4 minutes long. All I'm saying is it's not shocking.
The internet entirely, but that's the story that they ran with, and that's what most people saw, not the actual post. So everyone thought I was quitting the internet, so I posted that video that I was really happy with because it just felt like an OG old school video that made me happy. And then bang! Just a flood of comments and dislikes all saying shit like, how could you fucking deceive us? I thought you quit, huh? What happened to leaving, huh? I just read this post on Twitter from an account that had a profile pic of titties photoshopped onto Thomas Edison that said you were done, and it had 50,000 likes, so I know it was true, and you're just a fucking liar. I can't even just peacefully walk away from some projects without it being a massive fucking reaction.
This literally is the absolute worst aspect of especially new Twitter. Like, this has always been a case online. This has always been an issue online for sure. But nowadays with Twitter, it's just like, the more fake your information is, the more you spread misinformation, the fucking more clout that you get. Very strange stuff overall. Okay. Very weird shit. Literally, the truth does not matter. What matters is engagement farming. What matters is like sticking to a fucking narrative. And in this circumstance, okay, in this circumstance, for what? In this circumstance, it's like, oh, Charlie's quitting online. He's done. He's done forever. And then everybody fucking runs with it.
Over actual nothing burger information. And trust me, no one has a palate more refined for nothing burgers than...
He's just now feeling a taste of what you get daily. I know. Why didn't Sneeko get canceled for saying pedo shit? Brother, because he's a right-wing guy. He's a right-wing troll. I think at a certain point, y'all are going to understand that when you're like a right-wing troll, you get this perma shield. Okay? Is it true that you're leaving Fear and letting Porter Robinson play Replace you full time? Exactly. Yeah, you got the vice signaling shield. It's the same reason why, like, when you align with like right-wing people and you just like promote right-wing values, even if you marginally moderate to the middle, people will love that. They'll be like, oh my God, look at Barstool fucking Dave Porter. Right? Or Dave Portnoy, Pork Boy, not Porter. Or I don't know, Aiden Ross. He's like now apparently fucking talking shit about his own community being like super far right, when it's like, bro, you literally scream the F slur on a regular fucking basis. Right? It's because like the right is, as long as you say the right things that they want to hear, they don't give a fuck what you believe.
Than me. I have ranted about the stupidest shit of all time, but this was mind-boggling even for me. So to set the record straight, no, I'm not retiring, despite what the experts are telling you.
That podcast clip was AI, by the way. Okay.
All I did was walk.
You talk shit about your community, so how is that relevant? Wait, what? More relevant than $6 a month? What are you doing? Are you trying to do a fucking 3-minute debate? Is that what you're doing? That's a double one. We're not doing two-parters. You're banned for the day. But yes, 3-minute ad break.
Walk away from a couple of projects. Like, that's really it. Like, that's a pretty normal thing to do, especially when one of them I've been doing for like 8 years. I really didn't think it was that deep, especially not deep enough for how big of a story it's become with all of the wild narratives running around about the true reason that I stopped doing it. So let's get into that drama. I've talked about it on stream, I don't even know how many times at this point, but we'll just talk about all of it in this video here. So, when covering the Ava Tyson situation, I was attacked by a lot of people for not being quick enough. Even though I covered it within like the first 6 hours, people were unsatisfied that...
That's not quick enough, dude. That's not quick enough. You should have predicted it. Okay? You should have actually, fuck predicting it. You should have just said Ava Chris Tyson is a pedophile when she came out as a trans person months ago, and then we wouldn't be mad at you. Like, it didn't even matter. You don't need like any sort of fucking weird messages in the Discord, anything like that. You should just have run with the narrative that a trans person is obviously a pedophile, but you didn't do that, so I'm mad at you. And that's basically what it is. This entire conversation is just that for the most part. And it's wild how much we online in this fucking space, and this includes Charlie, this includes myself, or used to include me because I used to be on Twitter on my phone all the fucking time, how much we let this right-wing shithole that is known as Twitter dictate the actual fucking narrative that we decide to have on other platforms where there are real people. If you recall, I said this in the Hasan thinks that Twitch streaming is the hardest job in the world narrative. If it stays on Twitter, it doesn't go anywhere because half of that shit is botted. It's all right-wing psychos. But once centrist podcasters and political commentators and other people actually take it off of Twitter because they think everyone is actually watching it there, everyone's talking about this, and start doing commentary on it, then it becomes a real story because now actual real people are talking about it.
That I hadn't made a video within like the first fucking 20 minutes of it dropping. And then when I did finally finish the full video covering all of it, it was another massive problem where now I only did it out of an obligation because people called me out, and then I also got accused of being a transphobe because I didn't use Ava Tyson's preferred pronouns, which were she, her. I didn't know that. I thought just calling Ava Tyson by her name was okay, and I had also heard when I went to the Mr. Beast thing, someone refer to Ava Tyson with they. So I was truly under the impression that that was okay. And for that, I was annihilated by a good chunk of Twitter. And then annihilated by another good chunk of Twitter because I called out Sneeko, who was the main proponent about me covering for Mr. Beast to keep the collab alive.
I remember people in a streamer roast you about it, then later on admitting in stream that his social battery was running out, that he was feeling burnout That's awesome.
I wasn't talking about Ava Tyson because I wanted the Mr. Beast collab. And I talked about how absurd that statement was, especially given his history with fighting against the age of consent. He's been very vocal about how much he hates the age of consent, and so I talked about that briefly at the end of the video, which then changed the whole narrative for a lot of people where I never talked about Ava Tyson and only talked about Sneeko. So it was a complete lose-lose, because if I didn't talk about what Sneeko was saying, I would have been called a coward for not addressing it and talking about, like, well, he was going to cover for Mr. Beast until Sneeko called him out. So, like, if I didn't do it, I would have been attacked. I did do it, still got attacked. It really was unwinnable. But from that spawned a conversation where I talked to Sneeko directly, because he was very upset that I was talking about how him rallying against the age of consent is pedophile arguments, like defending pedophilia. As I've said since the very beginning of this channel, I'm always willing to engage with people I disagree with.
He used they, them pronouns in an attempt not to misgender her. Specifically, didn't use he, him. He doesn't clarify that very well here. Remember, like, for a lot of normies, like, trans stuff is difficult to parse through. It's not that simple. Even I fuck up sometimes, and I'm like, you know, I've been with it. I've been with the shits for quite some time.
And I thought that maybe there was a chance I misunderstood what he was trying to say, even though it's still abhorrent. I thought, okay, maybe he's not actually trying to defend pedophilia. He's like some kind of pseudo-intellectual debate bro who's trying to say something else. So I was willing to hear him out on it, and I talked to him in DMs, and he said he doesn't believe in the age of consent. He believes in the age of marriage, can't assign a number to it, but said that when someone can legally drive, they should be able to marry at the same time, which is literally like a 15 or 16.
Wait, what? As Muslims, we believe it is our duty to follow the law of the land. Bro, there's, oh my God, this motherfucker saying he's Muslim is so annoying, bro. I swear to God. Dude, I fucking hate adult reverts who, especially on the influencer side, fucking act like they are converting for content, specifically participate in the discourse as the most memed out version of Islam. Okay? I fucking hate these LARPers. Oh my God. And you know what I hate? Even as much as these fucking LARPers, all the dumb fucking Muslims living in diaspora who eat that shit up, who also are like so incredibly fucking reactionary and also lean into that shit. And it makes me so unimaginably mad because you are basically playing a minstrel show for some of the most right-wing fucking shitheads to point to you and go, look at these barbaric monkeys who believe in all of the worst shit. The white Christians also believe that same shit, mind you, but they can still point to you and fucking turn around and go, all of you Muslims are like this. Okay? I hate that shit so fucking much. I hate it. Okay? So part of the reason why I also openly will tell you all the fucking time that I am Muslim. Okay? And a lot of dumb fucking Muslim dudes on TikTok and shit don't see it. And it pisses me off so much. Bro, they literally think we're all fucking weirdos here, okay? In the Western world, the understanding of Islam is so fucking distorted. They do not see it as this religious belief. They think it's all like fucking people who love doing pedophilia and shit. So when you got a fucking psycho who looks at Islam and goes, oh, wow, I am actually Muslim because I'm conservative. I am actually Muslim because I think women should marry at the early age of 15. That shit fucking breaks my mind, okay? Anyway, I say this as someone who, for those of you who don't know, I say this as someone whose name is Hasan, who is Muslim, who grew up in a fucking Muslim country before people go, oh, that white boy's talking shit about Muslims, okay? Motherfuckers are like, oh yeah, no, I love Islam. I love doing Sharia law. And it's like, bro, shut up. Shut the fuck up. You grew up in like New Jersey or some shit. Like, what the fuck do you mean? You come from a fucking Christian family. All of a sudden you're like, oh, I love Islam because I want to marry children. Like, what are you doing? What the fuck is this shit? What is happening here? So I do hate it. I do especially fucking hate it when like dumb motherfuckers who are actually genuine Muslims themselves, who get very excited at the prospect of a Christian person converting to Islam, who get very excited at like, you know, an American guy converting to Islam because they love the Quran. That's what happened. Like they believe it's genuine and they don't realize how damaging that shit is. Anyway.
Should be able to marry at the
Like, look at
same
this. He's saying it. As Muslims, we believe it is our duty to follow the law of the land at the age of 15. I hate that.
time, which is literally like a 15 or 16-year-old, because you get your permit at 15, your license at 16, and both are way too young to be